Hi guys, I'm so happy you're back here with me at West Elmira Library on Thursday evening at 7 o'clock. We are going to do another cooking program or lesson, whatever you want to take from it. And it's going to be short and sweet today because I think that short and sweet might work out better for us. So I'm going to try and see what happens. So this is the story. I was at a restaurant out of town this weekend and I was looking for something extra special, and I'm kind of a foodie, so it's kind of hard for me to find something I really like. And so I'm looking through the appetizers and I see a cauliflower appetizer. I'm not even a cauliflower person. I can eat it, but even at Thanksgiving or any big event, I don't pick the cauliflower. There's so many other things I'd rather have. But I picked it. I picked a cauliflower appetizer, and it was out of this world. So, as I've told you, I don't follow recipes, just fly by the seat of my pants. So that's what I'm going to do. And I haven't even tasted this just yet because I had to make one at home. So I'm going to taste it after our show, and I'll let you know next week if I think it was as good. But I am excited to do this with you guys. So, first, I'm going to put my hair up. I already did the lint roll on my scrunchie. Hope everyone's enjoying our awesome weather. Perfect. And I have my trusty lint roll because we don't want hair in our food. So here we go. Honestly, I know this is a little bit crazy, but seriously, I've already done this a couple times today. You still get hair. It's unbelievable, but it is an excellent trick. And I have my apron. Let's get started. So, as I said, cauliflower. I have a head. Just boom. You just pick up a head of cauliflower at your local store, or if you're lucky and it's the time in the season, you can pick it up at your farmer's market. If you're really tricky, you can get it in your backyard. I'm not going there. I went to the grocery store, and this is what it's going to look like. It'll have the bottom and the top. Now, if you can see from home, there are a few spots in it. So, I have already prepared one that I've washed. This I can't wash. I don't have water right here. We're not going to be eating this. I'm just going to demonstrate with it. One thing you're going to want to do is if you have any spots, just take them off carefully. And I'm going to use one of my trusty paper plates. You don't want to really dig into the cauliflower to get the spot off because it's going to take away the look of the texture. It'll make it look flat and it doesn't look as well. And you don't have to be super concerned about the spots. I really don't think they're going to hurt you. But as far as presentation, they don't look good. However, this recipe, which I'd be curious if whoever came up with it had this thought in advance, is done with balsamic vinaigrette, which if anybody knows, that has a darker color, quite dark. And so you can't even see these spots, which is a great way to use a head of cauliflower and not have to worry about these spots, because I don't think they would bother you. So, after I have that, and of course, you're going to take the bottom off. So, just like this. And sometimes you can tear some of it off. And then if you go in towards it like that, in between the pieces, it makes it kind of easier to get it off. And voila. And I'm just going to take a little of this off. It's a little tough, but that's fine because we're not using that part. And then I'm going to cut the crown off. So, of course, I am not wasting these pieces. So I'm just going to kind of go around. And yes, it makes a little crumbly mess. It's a very easy, quick mess. Garbage. So these pieces I like, don't want to waste. I'm going to put this over here. And I don't want this whole like this, but I don't want to cut them all. I kind of want to break them. So you can break, twist. If you need to, you can cut. But don't cut the whole around these little stems. I wouldn't cut all around like that. I would try to break them. That works best. And you don't want all small pieces, so if you have to, you can kind of cut a bigger piece, but see how it makes it kind of look formal? You know, I kind of like it to look rustic. So, when you're done with that, you can see how I like them. It's okay to have some smaller ones. They're going to be a little more well done, but believe me, they melt in your mouth. This stuff is awesome. So, once you have your cauliflower all set, take a pot of water, put it on the stove top, and I pretty much always put a chicken bouillon cube in it. And that is what I did this time. So then you really don't have to use a lot of salt because, as we've said before, you can always salt afterwards, and then your guests can also salt too. So, get these little cauliflower, little flower. Did you catch that? They look like little cauliflowers. All right, so after it's in the boiling water, I just put a little bit in my pan because you're kind of steaming / blanching it. So I put it in there for, I checked it with a fork, but I would say no more, definitely, absolutely no more than 2 minutes. But I'm going more like a minute, maybe a minute and 20 seconds. But I checked mine in between. I had my little poker or a fork, whatever you prefer. And I don't want it to be like mushy. And I'm going to have to still put it in the broiler for this appetizer and presentation. So I definitely don't want it cooked. I don't want it done. I want it al dente. So that's what I did. So it comes out looking like this. And I'll show you a few little pieces. Here's one of my pieces. And I have all different sizes. None of mine are cut like that other one because I really don't like that look. They're all broken off. And what I call beautiful. So, and just show you with the poker, see, it goes in, but it's not like it slides right through. And that's what you need. And then, if you want to prepare this as an appetizer or even as a large dish, I personally would do mine in a baking dish that I could put right on the table. Or if you're doing an appetizer, they have like little crocks like you would put French onion soup in. You could use one of those. For today, I just have a pan with some aluminum foil on it. And I'm going to place them in there. First, my trusty cooking spray. Not a lot. We don't want to taste it. We just don't want it to stick. And then, if you're going to present it in this, you're going to want to put your cauliflower in a nice presentation. However, I not presenting in this, so I would be pulling them out. So depending how you do it, but we'll put them in nicely. And then, like I said, we have some smaller ones. Put the smaller ones towards the outside and the bigger ones towards the middle. Now see that? I'm not sure if you can see, but that looks like a top of a head of a cauliflower. All right, if you want to do more salt, you can sprinkle salt on. Like I said, I used my bouillon cube, so I'm not. Absolutely am gonna do some fresh ground pepper. If your pepper's not coming out, just do a little shake. Or fill it. It's probably just needs to be shaked. And now I am going to put the vinegar on. Balsamic vinaigrette. Now, I think this is excellent. I like the flavor. But if for some reason you don't like the color, you can always use a white wine vinegar. It pretty much is the same. It will break down the food like you want. But I love this stuff. This is what they use like in France to dip bread in. So this most likely has a top that already has a tiny little hole in it. The tiny little hole doesn't work for me. I have to use my fingers. That little hole just kind of pours, even though it's not supposed to. So just dab a little, and yes, you can see it's going to stain it. I'm telling you, it's excellent. Put that back. And the reason I put that on at this point is because I want the other things that I'm going to put on to absorb. And that way, even though my cauliflower, after I drained it, it still has some moisture, this is going to help. If you do all your spices first and then that, it's going to make them kind of run off. So it works for two different reasons. Now, I don't know exactly what they did at the restaurant I was at, but balsamic vinaigrette kind of has a bite. Fresh tarragon, well, this is in a jar, but I always, I pour some out on a plate and I take it in my hand and I crumble it. So even though it's out of a jar, it's freshly crumbled, which you can use as one of your adjectives. All right, should we do it just like the cooking show? Bam. Nice. And then I didn't put a lot of fresh ground pepper because I'm going to use a little bit of curry. And I'm not certain if they did, but I wanted a little color to this. So I'm just going to take a little, you don't need a lot of curry. But now we have curry and cauliflower. All right, perfect. Put this aside. And now I will let you know that I put this in the broiler with fresh Parmesan cheese, and then I realized my cheese was burning. So I added a little water to the bottom, and then I noticed my cheese was not browning very well. So I added a little olive oil. So, and even in the restaurant, the cheese that falls to the side and melts was awesome. Used bread to dip it, and I'll be honest, I used a spoon to eat it all. So, if you like cheese, be generous, which I love cheese. It's not going to go to waste. And then, like I said, I put a little water in so it continues to steam. And then my cheese did not burn, so I could scoop it out and use it as presentation. Excuse me. Once again, this has the little tricky little top that's supposed to help you pour, but I just can't do it. I have to use my fingers. So just drizzle, and you can always, after it's in the oven, look at it and add more if you like. So, my trusty towel. So that's it. That is it. I put it in. I heated my oven to 350, and then I have an option of broil high, broil low. I had the rack in the middle, and I broiled high, and I just kept an eye on it, and it was not more than a minute and a half. I don't even think it was that long. And obviously, you don't have to have all the cheese broiled because it's going to be delicious. It'll be heated. So it looked like that when I put it in my oven. And then it came out kind of looking like this. Looking like this besides the olives and the roasted red peppers. What happened was I pulled it out and I put it in this beautiful dish and I thought it looked a little bit bland. So I just opened some pitted olives and I had my roasted red peppers, which I always have in the fridge. These are incredible. I just sliced them very thinly. Of course, I patted them dry. They don't have to be completely dry like if you were putting them in something because it's just a decoration. My olives are pitted, so nobody has to worry about fighting with their olives or choking. And because the cauliflower, you could say, is kind of bland, the olive goes really well. It mixes in with the curry, and the tarragon is a little bit sweet, so you have the bit of vinegar, the salt from the bouillon, the Parmesan cheese, roast red. It was absolutely delicious. So, you can try it. I hope you enjoy. You can always let me know. You can go on Facebook to CCLD and let me know what you think of it. And that's it. But before I go, I want to show you a cookbook. It's called Melted Cheese. And even though cauliflower might not seem like the most appetizing thing, you put cheese on it and anything is good. So, thank you very much for coming, and I will see you next week, Thursday night at 7 o'clock. If you have any ideas, just let us know. I'll try almost anything. Thanks. Bye.